Fire investigators are still on the scene at Neds El Portal after an early morning fire destroyed the city landmark. Fire investigators anticipate they'll be on the scene for the rest of the week, looking for clues as to the cause of the fire. Marianne Hatchett has more.
Billowing smoke filled the skies this morning as the luncheon and night spot blistered in the heat. The fire broke out around 3 a.m. and cut a path of destruction through the bar.
My mother called me because the alarm company had called her, so she called me. I thought it was just the alarm had been tripped. I did not imagine anything like this.
The Gaddis family has owned Neds since it opened. The package store has been in this location since 1948, the lounge about 20 years. An estimated 35 Albuquerque firefighters battled the blaze for more than 2 hours. Then, as the outline of the mountains grew clearer with the break of dawn, the flames were brought under control. Beer bottles, cash register tabs, and rolls littered the streets outside. Today, the debris has forced the closure of Sierra from Central South to Zuni and Sierra West on Central to Montclair. The bar itself is a burned-out rubble.
Just rebuild and go. We wouldn't want to change anything. I mean, it's just a mess.
And arson investigators are sorting through that mess today, trying to figure out just what caused the fire. Gaddis says he's had at least 3 bomb threats in the last month, and it's believed there was some sort of explosion. Just what the source of it was won't be known until investigators can sift through the charred debris, which could take days. In the meantime, some 40 Neds employees are out of work.
It's just, it's too much to fathom at this point. I mean, you just don't realize what's happened. That's about all.
With photographer Jeremiah O'Connell, Marianne Hatchett, News 13.
The flames lit up the early morning sky as firemen rushed to the scene. Even a ladder truck was called in. But the heavy equipment and streams of water were of no use. The blaze had raced out of control. And by daybreak, the destruction was all too clear. Only the walls remain. Everything else is in rubble and ruin.
I was in bed, and I got a call, and they said your building's on fire.
Ken Gaddis is an owner of Neds. He has insurance, but the insurance is unable to cover some things.
You know, there's no way they can cover all the 30 years of goodwill that we've put into this and the amount of our reputation and what we've built. It's rather a shock.
Arson investigators have sifted through the wreckage looking for a reason for the fire. But there's not much to go on.
The only thing we've got is that there was an explosion that blew the windows out.
The early damage estimates are in, and it's at least $1 million fire. But more than that, Albuquerque has lost a popular nightclub and restaurant, and whether it'll ever be rebuilt remains unknown at this time. Jeff Schwartz, Live, Eyewitness News 4.
There's a little bit more on that. Late today, Ken Gaddis told us he has received 3 bomb threats in the last 3 weeks.
Fire investigators on what caused a popular Albuquerque restaurant and bar to burn down early this morning. Orlando Medina reports despite firefighting efforts, the building was lost.
Albuquerque firefighters didn't have to have a map to find the 2-alarm blaze as flames shot up over the building, dwarfing the Neds neon sign that overlooks the intersection of East Central and Sierra about 3 a.m. More than 30 firefighters were needed, as well as snorkel outfits on cranes to pour water into the burning building. A deputy fire chief says firefighters tried to gain entrance into the bar and restaurant to quell the blaze, but the fiery roof drove them back.
It broke through the roof, and we couldn't contain it because the fire kept, the roofing kept seeping down into the building itself, and we couldn't get inside the building because of the heavy smoke and heavy fire inside the building.
The $1 million worth of damage was apparent in the daylight as fire investigators dug through the rubble. Ned's owner, Ken Gaddis, says Ned's will be rebuilt after 30 years, even if the insurance doesn't cover all the blaze.
You know, there's no way they can cover all the 30 years of goodwill that we've put into this and the amount of our reputation and what we've built. Surely that labor isn't covered at all. So it's going to be a while.
Orlando Medina, Action 7 News.
Who burned down Ned's Lounge in Albuquerque 2 years ago? It was determined then arson was the cause, but no one knew who did it and why. Conway Chino reports tonight a federal search warrant filed today contains some revealing answers.
On the night of April 18, 1983, Neds El Portal burned to the ground. Arson investigators spent 3 days sifting through the gutted remains of the popular East Central nightclub. Numerous interviews were conducted and included family members who had an interest in the lounge. But no suspect was found. For almost a year and a half, the case went unsolved until November of last year when investigators got a break. According to the search warrant affidavit, investigators with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms reveal a confidential informant has admitted to them he was hired to burn down Ned's El Portal. Who hired him? According to the informant, members of the Gaddis family, owners of the lounge. The informant claims he was paid $10,000 to set the building ablaze. What's still uncertain is why. The estimated loss was put at over $1 million. However, the owners claim the building was insured for only half that amount. The next break for investigators came last night when they raided the home of Linda Gaddis. Inside, they found evidence, including items of sentimental value which they believe were removed from the lounge prior to the arson fire. Linda, along with her brother Ken Gaddis, manager of Ned's Marina, were arrested last night on drug charges. According to sources close to the investigation, Ken Gaddis had negotiated to buy $200,000 worth of cocaine from undercover drug agents. It's believed he was going to sell the cocaine, using the money from the drug deals to rescue his financially strapped restaurant. Tonight, the Gaddises are out on bond. Conroy Chino for Target 7.